Welcome to Bhagavat Rasamalaya English lecture. Let's recite text number 31, Canto 11, Chapter 2, text 31. Dharman Bhagavatan Bruta Yadina Srutaye Shamam Yai Prasanna Prapanya Dashyati Atmanam Api Aja. Synonyms word by word. Dharman Bhagavatan, the signs of devotional service. Ruta, please speak. Yadi, if na, of us. Shrutaye, to hear properly. Shamam, there is the capacity. Yai, by which devotional service. Prasanna, being satisfied. Prapannaya, to one who has taken shelter. Dashyati, he will give. Atmanam, himself. Happy even. Aja, the number, the unborn Supreme Lord. Translation purport given by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please speak about how one engages in the devotion service of the Supreme Lord. If you consider me capable of properly hearing these topics. When a living entity offers loving service to the Supreme Lord, the Lord is immediately satisfied, and in return, he will give even his own self to the surrendered soul. Purport. Within the material world, there are two classes of mundane philosophers who present their opinions about the Supreme Lord. Some so-called theologians claim that we are infinitely different from God, and therefore they tend to look upon the Lord as something far beyond our power to understand. Such extreme dualistic philosophers outwardly or officially claim to be pious and religious believers in God, but they considered God as so much different from that which is within our experience, and that according to them there is a little profit in even trying to discuss the personality or attributes of the Supreme Lord. Such outwardly faithful persons generally take to fruitive activities and gross materialistic sense gratification, being infatuated with the mundane relationships of the material world, which appear under the headings society, friendship, and love. The Advaitavadis or non-dualistic philosophers claim that there is no difference between God and the living entity, and that the highest goal of life is to give up our personal existence, which is due to illusion, and merge into impersonal Brahman effulgence, which is devoid of name, form, paraphernalia, and personality. Thus, neither class of speculative philosopher is able to understand the transcendental personality of Godhead. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Saiva Narotam Devim Sasitim Vyasam Tado Udayamudre Nastapra Padre Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavate Uttamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavranda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So here in this chapter, Maharaj Nimi meets the 9 Yogendras. So in this verse 31st says that the Nimi Maharaj humbly, with great humility, asking questions to Navayogendras to speak about one who engages in the devotion service of the Supreme Lord. If you consider me capable of properly hearing these topics. So, when a living entity offers loving service to the Supreme Lord, the Lord is immediately satisfied. So, this verse says that Nimi Maharaj, pleasing the Navayogendras to speak about the engagement in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because If Supreme Lord becomes prasanna, or if he becomes satisfied with the devotion service rendered by his devotees, definitely he will give himself to the devotees. You can see so many instances in Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita also. We can see that Arjuna has taken the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just so Krishna has accepted as a chariot driver to the Pandavas. Because since Arjuna is a pure devotee of the Lord and the dearest friend to Krishna, so and also he Arjuna took the since he is the topmost devotee, one of the topmost devotee of Supreme Personality of Godhead, seeing his pure devotion service rendered by Arjuna, Krishna accepted him as a disciple, and also finally Arjuna says in Gita that Karishne Vachanam Taha, your words are ultimate to me, and whatever you say I will accept it. So if one takes that position of accepting or carrying forward of the instructions of Gita, Bhagavad Gita, or like the profound works and literatures of Vyasa, Veda Vyas, Krishna accepts him as the pure devotee, and once he gets satisfied, he will give himself, he will be ready to do whatever the devotee says, whatever the devotee orders. Though devotee doesn't order anything to the Supreme Personality of God, Lord will not be reluctant to render devotion service to his pure devotees. Like when Krishna was in Nanda Maharaj's house, he just took when Nanda Maharaj ordered his son Lord Krishna, to bring his slippers, the slippers, immediately Krishna never thought of anything. Though he is Supreme Personality of Godhead, though he is omnipotent, omniscient, is spread everywhere. He is in everyone's atom. Ishvara as Paramatma in everybody's heart. Riddeshu Tishtate Brahmayan Mantrari Dharane. In 18th chapter he says Ishvara Sarvabhutanam. So though he is supreme, immediately there was no second thought to Krishna. Immediately he grabbed the slippers of his father Nanda Maharaj and kept it on his head and brought close to the Nanda Maharaj, and he made Nanda Maharaj to wear that slippers. See, such a Lord himself is taking such a humblest great position. So what about us? So we just imagine how humble we should be in rendering devotional service to the Lord. So one who is so one if one person renders devotional service, loving service to the Supreme Lord, Krishna will immediately be satisfied. So, and in return, he will be ready to render devotional service to his devotees in return. So, that is the reciprocation between Lord and his devotees. So, this reciprocation will always go on. So, when it is said in some scriptures, when a devotee was lying down and glorifying the Lord with some bhajans and kirtans. Lord came and stood near that devotee, and he was hearing that kirtans and bhajans sung by the devotee. As soon as devotee came to senses that Lord is standing and I am sleeping, I am lying down, immediately he got up and sat, and he started glorifying again. And when Krishna saw that, he was fully satisfied, and Krishna wants to do something, wants to show his unconditional love to his devotees. So when devotee saw this, he stood up and started rendering devotional service. So the more devotees started, the more devotee offers loving service to the Krishna, Krishna is also ready to offer in return the loving service to his devotees. So because of pure devotional service, Yashoda Mata, he was bound by Yashoda Mata's robes. So because that bound refers to the love towards Krishna by Yashoda Maya. So because Yashoda Maya was showing such a affection towards Krishna that always she will be hankering, and always she will be protecting Krishna in all sorts of bad elements and from all sorts of demonic propensities. So he will be always taking care of Krishna. That's why Krishna was bounded by Yashoda Maya's words and activities. So Krishna is such a Krishna is supreme power, supreme personality of Godhead. But still, when Yashoda Mata took a stick, he ran off out of fear. So you can just understand that how much Krishna is showing love towards her mother Yashoda Maya. So if you can see how how the demons were killed by Krishna. He just kicked off the demon who came as a bullock cart, and he was immediately got smashed. He was killed by Krishna. He was very, very small. He was just a baby. And in Putana's Leelas also, he was just 3 months. He just pulled the life air of Putana. But here, because he is bound by Yashoda's love, he was just running faster so that Yashoda Maya should not catch him. But after seeing Yashoda Maya's tiredness, when she got exhausted, Krishna doesn't want to make her tired. So he came near Yashoda Maya, and Yashoda Maya caught him, and she binded him with the ropes. So when Krishna when Krishna sees our pure love rendered by us, Krishna will really get so much satisfied, and he will be in bliss. So he will be so ecstatic. So the pure devotion service or loving service towards Krishna makes Krishna always surrender to the devotees. He will surrender to the devotees because of the loving service. So there are two classes of mundane philosophers here. One class is they believe in Krishna, and they know that Krishna is something supreme power. They are beyond their capacity, beyond their strength, beyond this class of people. But they know they have dual um, they are far beyond our power to understand. So these dualistic philosophers outwardly or officially claim to be pious and religiously believers in God, but they consider God so much different from that which is within our experience, and that according to them there is a little profit in even trying to discuss the personality or attributes of the Supreme Lord. This type of people in this class, they are religiously have faith in God, but they have hardly any opportunities to hear about the Leelas of the Lord, to hear about the pastimes of the Lord. They are considered to be the fruity. They are considered to. They are considered that they want to satisfy their senses always. They want to satisfy their senses. They are always be rendering fruitful activities, fruitive activities, and they are gross materialistic sense gratification. So this type of people, they have religious faith in Lord, but they have very less time, or they will not have any time, or they will not do any sort of devotional service like Shravanam and Kirtanam. That's the point here. And these materialistic, they are materialistically sense gratification category. These people belongs to materialistic sense gratification people, and they will hardly have they spend more time in mixing with their in engaging with their friends, relatives, and other so-called societies, with the so-called societies. And the other class is Advaitavadis, or non-dualistic philosophers, who claim that there is no difference between the God and the living entity, and the highest goal of life is to give up the personal existence which is due to illusion and merge into this impersonal Brahman effulgence. These Advaitavadis or non-dualistic philosophers believe that there is no difference between Lord and the living entities, and they will finally they will merge into the Brahman, or the effulgence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But one should understand that the effulgence or Brahman, it also comes from the Satchitananda Vigraha, from Supreme Personality of Godhead, from this spiritual body. Without the spiritual body of the Lord, or without the original form of the Lord, how you get the effulgence? Only if you have sun, you will get the effulgence, you will get the brightness, you will get the heat. Without sun, how you are going to get the effulgence? So it is really foolish to have this sort of belief, this sort of faith. So these people believe that the Lord doesn't have form; the Lord only has the effulgence, the Brahman, which is devoid of name, form, paraphernalia, and personality. They believe that God doesn't have form. It is they believe that God is formless, and there is no name, and there is no personality. Thus, neither class of speculative philosophers is able to understand the transcendental personality. So both these classes, they cannot understand the transcendental personality of Godhead. So that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has inundated the philosophy of Achinta Beda Abeda Tattva. That means simultaneously oneness and difference. Has clearly demonstrated that we are qualitatively one, but quantitatively we differ from Lord. So example, if you take a the gold ring in your finger and the gold in the mines are qualitatively one, but The gold in the mines are quantitatively huge. It's very huge. It's very big, but the the gold ring in our finger is only a minute. It is very anu. It's only very small in quantity, but in quality both are same. Same if you take up seawater, uh, the water in our tank, in our house, the ore tank is also the same in quality, and also in the seawater. Also, the water in the sea is also same in quality, but in quantity, the seawater has huge amount of gallons and gallons of water, but we have very very little water. That's the difference. That is the main. There is a huge difference of this philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And the Lord has unlimited potency, but we have very very small negligible potency we have. Hmm? Hmm. So, as we discussed, that Lord is ready to surrender to any supreme personality of God. Even in Ramayana also we can see that when Lord Rama uh, was about to kill Ravana, before killing Ravana also Rama told Ravana, "My dear Ravana, please, even now I give you the um, chance to survive. If you just hand over my consort Sita to me, I will leave you as such. I will not harm you, I will not kill you." But Ravana was in ignorance. He was totally behaving like a great demon. So he was not able to accept Rama as a supreme personality of Godhead, and he was not able to surrender at the lotus feet of the Rama supreme Lord. So immediately he got killed by Lord Ram. So rather surrendering to the supreme personality of Godhead, Ravana showed hatred towards Lord Ram, so he got killed by Lord Ram. So similarly, there are so many instances in Srimad Bhagavatam that so many pure devotees of the Lord got surrendered. They got surrendered to the supreme personality of Godhead, and the Lord became prasanna. This verse, it is the word was mentioned. Prasanna means fully he was satisfied, and also prapanna means to surrender. So, you know, so if you um, clearly read the teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one can get the qualities of surrender, and one can get the qualities of rendering loving service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said in Sikshastakam, Mama Janmani Janmani Sware Bhavtat Bhakti Rahaitu Ki Tvaye Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkanam Paritama Vishame Bhavamana Krupaya Tavapada Pankaja Sitaduri Sadrusham Vishintaya. So a devotee always aspires for love towards Supreme Personality of God, and birth after birth, birth after birth. Mahaprabhu says that in every birth I want to serve your lotus feet. I don't have any other desire except to please you, my Lord, he says. And also devotee Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in 7th sloka, Govinda Virahename Ai Nanda Tanuja Kinkanam Patitamam Vismay Bhavam Krupaya Tavapada Pangala Siduri Sadrisham Vichin Enam Gala Shridaraya Vadanam Gadgaza Daya Kaila Chitam Upakata Name Aslishya Vapadatan Vinasmam Manmahatam Darshanam Karotava La Yatadata Vidatu Lampato means Krishna here. So Mahaprabhu says that if a devotee is ready to accept Krishna as his prananatha or his life mate, so even if he stamps me in that condition also, in that state also, he is my prananatha, he is my life savior, I will not leave him. If one has this mood of surrendering quality, so Krishna will be pleased, and Krishna in return is ready to sell his own self to such a devotees. See, that is why, if you see in Prabhupada's case, Srila Prabhupada was rendering loving devotion service by translating so many literatures, profound literatures of Veda Vyas, books like Science of Self-Realization and Reincarnation, Perfect Questions and Perfect Answers, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Instructions, and Upadeshamrita, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All these works were even understood by the Western devotees and Western people. They were able to understand all these things, and they were able to render pure devotion service in the subsequent years. So because Srila Prabhupada has imbibed or invested all his pure devotional attitudes, and he has accomplished all his spiritual master's desires, so that it should reach the entire world, so that they can take the benefit of rendering loving service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Even in the case of Haridas Thakur, he was born as a Mohammedan, but still he was chanting 3 lakhs names every day. He was chanting 3 lakhs names. So only after completing his 3 lakhs names, he used to honor his prasadam. But seeing this, his pure devotion service, people were rushing towards him to have his darshan, to have his association. But envious people, these envious people of his community, of his religion, once somehow Haridas Thakur to stop all these religious activities of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. But still Haridas Thakur was so sincere and so dedicated, and he was taking the shelter of Supreme Personality of Godhead to make Lord Prasanna, is continued his chanting irrespective of any torture and irrespective of any punishment given by his religious, co-religious persons. Uh, he was taken to the 21 marketplaces and he was whipped by his the soldiers of Nawab, but still he continued chanting. He never stopped his chanting the holy names of the Lord. And finally, it has gone to the ears of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately took Sudarshan Chakra and was about to kill these sinful persons, but Haridas Thakur was such a great and humble devotee. He doesn't want to do any harm even to his enemies who were tortured him, who were whipped him, and those soldiers were telling, please Haridas Thakur, please die, because by whipping you we are getting killed. We are not able to punish you because our hands are paining like anything, but if you don't die, my superior will kill us. So they got tired by whipping Haridas Thakur, but Haridas Thakur never got tired, and he received all this whippings, he received all this torture and punishment given by his Nawab Sahib, but he never stopped chanting the holy names of the Lord. But immediately the Mahaprabhu got prasanna because Haridas Thakur took the shelter of the holy names. So he was such a magnanimous and magnificent personality. Haridas Thakur was able to satisfy Krishna by taking the shelter of holy names of the Lord. But after that it was stopped by Haridas Thakur, saying that, please my Lord, somehow or other excuse them by giving your pure devotion service, so that they become devotees of the Lord, devotees of you, and they can also render devotion service. So such was Haridas Thakur was so compassionate towards the people who have given punishment to him also, to himself also. Hare Krishna.